Hi, this is Eric with diffuserdoc.com, and in this video we're going to change the ultrasonic disc in a doTERRA Aroma Lite Diffuser. And the reason you may want to change this is because it won't turn on. It thinks that it's out of water because the disc is broken. They have a lifespan of about 5,000 hours, and after they've worn out, then the unit can't properly determine whether there's water in it or not, and it'll shut itself down. Also, near the end of its lifespan, the disc will begin to output less and less mist, and at that point you'll probably want to replace it. So we're going to start by removing the lid and setting it aside, both lids actually. And I'm going to turn it over, and we want to remove these 4 little rubber feet. And those are just pressed in place, so I'll just take them out. And I'm putting them over in the same way they came out so that that's easier to put back in. We'll take the kit. It's been specially designed for this unit. And we'll remove the disc and the screwdriver. Set this aside, and inside of these, where these feet were, there are 4 screws. We're going to use the screwdriver to remove those 4 screws. That's good. Yep. And yep, if they're all loose, this will come apart right here. Go ahead and take it, pull it apart. There are two halves here. You can take both halves. It could come apart right like this. I would go ahead and leave it together and flip it over like this. And your 4 little screws that you just took out, they'll go ahead and fall out, but that way, just be prepared for that, because you don't want them falling on the floor. Okay, so once the unit's open, we want to focus on these 3 screws. This one, this one, this one, and there's one under here, this one. If you need to, these LEDs, you can pop them out of place. Don't forget to put them back in, but if they're in your way, it's not a problem to remove those, and then when you're finished, you just put them back in these little holes. They're just held in place by friction. There's no glue. It's not going to hurt anything if you take them out. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these 3 screws. These 3 screws hold the disc down against the reservoir, just with pressure. And when we remove these, we'll be able to get the disc out. And the other thing that we want to do, this is the connection to the disc right here, this wire and this connector. What we want to do is unplug the disc by grabbing. I know this is probably going to be discarded, but so you could technically probably pull on the wires, but it's in practice you want to just pull on these little tabs on the side of the connector if you can, and pull the disc out. This has little tabs on the side to help you grip, so you can just pull it out like that. So once that has been removed, we can pull this assembly up, and I'm just going to leave it on its side like this. Hopefully the screws will stay in there. And then that exposes the disc, and underneath is just a plate. This area, this plate, that just pushes against the disc and holds it in place. So one thing to notice too is that the disc, just notice the position. The wires are coming out here at about around 4 or 5 o'clock. That's how you want to install the new one. So we'll take the disc out and set it aside. Notice this metal plate here, and underneath that is a small silicone gasket. You want to make sure that that stays in place and that it's secured in place. I mean, pressed down and tight. If you've taken it out, or if it came out with the disc, press this in place and make sure it's tight so that you prevent leaks. We'll take the new disc and put that down in the 4 or 5 o'clock position. Kind of bend the wires up just a little bit and be very gentle with the wires here and here. It's really easy to actually just pull these off, and then it destroys the disc and you have to get a new one. But just be really gentle not to bend the wires near these soldering points right here. So once the disc is in place, we'll go ahead and put this plate back down on there. If I get lucky, these screws will stay in there for me. Okay. And then make sure you're down onto the 3 little posts that are coming up, and I feel like I'm on all 3 of them now, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten these screws back down. Now, since this is held in position by 3 points, you don't tighten them all down really hard right away. Actually, don't tighten them down really hard at all. But so I've just tightened them snugly, and then I want to go through and maybe do like an eighth of a turn or a quarter of a turn tighter all the way around. Just to make sure that there's good firm pressure. And from all 3 sides. We don't want to over tighten, but we don't want to under tighten either. Just make sure that that's kind of critical. If that's too loose, then it may leak. If it's too tight, you can over tighten into this plastic and strip it out. Now plug the new disc back in. Check that all the LEDs are in their place, and then we can just start folding this back together. Okay. Now I'm just checking to make sure that everything looks like it's in place, or any pinched wires. And now I'm going to put the 4 screws in. also not something we want to over tighten here either, because you can strip out the plastic. And then we'll put the rubber feet back in. Good. Check to make sure everything's in good shape. Alright. And let's see, we can get it some power. And don't forget to test it with water. Sometimes you'll get emails where people are saying that hey, the new disc doesn't work, but they're too excited and haven't checked and tested it with water in it. So don't forget to put the water in first to test. The lid on, and go ahead and turn it on. And there we go. The new diffuser is working well. Go ahead and run through a couple cycles and test it. But that's it. It's pretty easy to replace the disc on the Aroma Lite. If you have any questions, you can always email at doc@diffuserdoc.com or support. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/diffuserdoc. And look forward to hearing from you if you have any questions. Thanks.